As night falls in Singapore, the track starts to warm up, and it'll be red hot by the time we find out who's on pole for tomorrow's race. Time to set the grid then. Welcome along to qualifying here in Singapore.
Well, a very good evening, everybody, and welcome to Delta T Racing Thursday night. So it's time for Division 2. We're coming this week, round number 10. So literally 3 races to go this one. Then we travel to Qatar. And cannot for the life of me remember where we finished the season, but I'll have a look at that in a moment. But yeah, round number 10, Singapore. So who is the first one out? I think it's going to be Ralph. So we'll jump on board with Ralph just for his out lap. Okay, coming round number 10. So I say 3 rounds left. We have the table, which you briefly saw a moment ago. So just pop that up. Bogorowski leading the way with 137 points now with a 32-point gap over F1 Johnny in second place. Brother Adam catching up a little bit now, 94 points, so himself just 11 points behind second place. Kazingo in fourth on 86. Connor in fifth with 81 points, and Ralph had a good few results, Ralph. So scoring some points, dragging himself up table. USA up 4 positions to number 6. Then we've got Hammers in 7th, Daniel in 8th, Hummer in 9th, and Bob Spudner rounding out the top 10. In the constructors, we have McLaren leading the way, 209 points against 186 of Williams. So what are we looking at there? 23-point gap. Obviously McLaren getting 21 points from the last race, 34 points going to Williams. Red Bull, I mean, they're outside chance, but a little bit too far back, pick out 38 points. So anyway, let's jump on, let's get rid of everything and jump on board with Ralph. Just having a quick look in the chat. Thank you, Skipper, letting us know it's going to be dry quali and dry race. So obviously not going to see any wet to dry strategy. Do see a fair amount of safety cars at Singapore. Not always for accidents. Sometimes they can just be called out for spins because obviously blocking the track. But hopefully we won't have too many tonight. So right, let's concentrate on what we are doing. So 15 drivers tonight. And Ralph will be the first to set a time. So Bogorowski on an out lap, Hammers on an out lap. So the McLaren boys going out. Not too close together, but I don't think a tow is really of any benefit at Singapore. Quite a technical track, lots of corners, puts an awful lot of strain on the brakes and the tyres here, so tyre management could be key tonight. I think obviously hard medium being your safe option. So Ralph, 129.160. Who do we have next? Is that Car? No, sorry, it's Rika coming round. See what time he's going to put on the board. A 29.868. We then got, I think it's the Haas of Scully 131. Then we have Double, who's about to cross the line. He was quickly up into third, but that disappeared. So Hummer setting the benchmark with a 29.0. I need to try and catch some of these cars now as they're coming across the line. Wazza with a 28.693. Wazza is rapid around Singapore. I think it's one of his favourite tracks, but he is pretty damn rapid around here. So I would not be surprised. Well, I'm not surprised to see him at the front end. Let's jump on with Hammers. Hammers just getting set up. I think he's on a temporary internet, so he might have a few connection problems tonight, but hopefully it'll be okay. But good to see him in the race. Recently moved home, so getting everything set up the way that he wants. Obviously with a newborn child as well. He's got an awful lot on his hands at the moment. So good to see him out racing. Jump on board, see what he is doing coming towards the intersector. Oh, he's invalidated anyway, so I missed that. So we'll jump back to Bog, see how Bog's getting on. Where's Connor? Connor's further back, he is invalidated as well. So Bog seems to be on the valid lap. We'll see what time he can put in. And so not necessarily the quickest on track over one lap, Bog, but he does have huge amount of consistency and does use strategy to his benefit. You can it's catching the inside curve there. He's going to take this flat out, just a slight lift there I think, and up to a 130.006. So a lot more there for Bog. Just looking to see whether he was actually on a lap or whether he was just saving. We'll find out in a moment. Head towards the end of sector 1. Could be that he's doing did 2 out laps and now looking for half a second up on his previous time. So I think a couple of out laps for Bog just to get some temperature into those tyres. Who else have we got coming round here? We've got a yellow flag. I think that's just for people getting out of the way. Pac-Man getting out of the way there. He could have probably left it a couple more corners, maybe got out of the way down the straight here, but nevertheless he did get out of the way, which is good to see. Bog now coming through 0.6 up, so looking about 29.4 at the moment, but we'll see obviously whether he eased off slightly in this final sector. There we go. Oh, it's got in a bit deep there. I think it might have just taken away. Lose 2-3 tenths. I think it's still going to be quicker, but it's just 29.3, so he was drastically slower. So I think he would have been pushing up towards the front row, if not the second row of the grid there. But still a long way to go. Skipper coming into the pits now. Pac-Man, he's coming into the pits as well. So have we got anybody out on a lap at the moment? Connor gone purple in sector 2. So again, another driver who has, I think, improved massively over the last few seasons. Speed is now there. He regularly reserves in Division 1 and can compete with a lot of the drivers up there as well. His consistency's there, just needs to be a bit luckier, but 28.3. So taking temporary pole position away from Wazza by 3 tenths. That's a bit of a spit in the face for Wazza there, but I'm sure he will be back out on softs looking to get that top spot back. So first run is pretty much going. Composite, why is Composite out? I didn't see him crash, but he will no longer be taking part in qualifying. Right, so we have a few going on out laps now. Just trying to see who is the furthest one around. Not sure if that's a... The Bog is coming in, so Hammers must be going around on a lap. Yeah, sorry, flicking through here. So we'll just see what his first sector time is before we jump over, because I want to keep an eye on Hammer and Hummer. Nice to have them both back to confuse me. I get it wrong quite regularly. So Hammers is... Oh, he hasn't set a time, so of course he hasn't got a personal best at the moment. But Hummer 5 seconds down, so he again is doing a second out lap, I think. Yep. Rika, is he doing? No, it looks like he's on it. Looking at his ERS depleting there, so I think he is definitely using it. So he could be the next one to set a time here. Everybody else on their outlaps. Ralph as well is on a lap. Whereabouts is Ralph on the circuit? Have a look at that to see. Ralph's much further back. Okay, so we'll stick with Rika at the moment. So Hammers, I think. Oh, let's see what his time is actually. I didn't realise he was so much further round. But we'll see what time he can pop on the board. So 28.7 up into third place. Right, so Rika popping a 29.2 on the board, so nearly a second off pole position. But is his first out lap. Apologies tonight for there's a couple of pauses. I've still got a bit of a cough, and talking is probably not the best thing for it, but I will do my very, very best. So Johnny, how's Johnny getting on? 29.5, so just behind his championship rival Bogrovsky, and so both are in 7th and 8th position currently. Obviously still 6.5 minutes to go. Johnny looks to be very down on his time. Right, so we have most people pitting. Boggs on an outlap. Obviously Rika, we have had a look at Cavolis is round there. Skipper. Looks like he is coming round to the end of the lap. See what time he can put on the board. A 29.4 into 9th position. The two Hasses will be next. I think Scully is on a lap and his teammate double in front. Just giving him a slight, very unhelpful toe there. So, right, moving away. Brother Adam, I haven't covered him much at all tonight, but it's sitting nicely in 3rd position. 6 seconds down though, so I think that's either another in lap or just a second warm up tyre or an aborted. So Bog coming down slightly up on his time, 0.037, but I think he had a bit of time to make up through this right left coming up now. So outbroke himself last time, lost probably a couple of tenths, so he has that to gain, probably even more to be honest with you, if he can just get this last corner right. Does indeed. 28.7 up into 5th place for Bogrovsky. Skipper coming into the pits, double. Not quite sure what he's done with his teammate, but I think there might be a bit of a meeting with. Well, actually, it's not Gunter anymore, is it? It should be though. We'll see how Double's doing coming to the end of sector 2. So he's 3/10 up on his time. That would be good enough to pop him potentially on the cusp of the top 10. He now throws it into the final corner and puts a 29.4, so into 10th place, displacing Johnny down into 5th. But Johnny on an outlap, I'm sure he's got more time in him there. Bog down on his time, so I think he will just take that as pretty much be his qualifying over. I think by the time he gets in, changes tyres, won't be enough time to go out again. Well, we got yellow, just Rika getting out of the way. We'll check on Bog, but I think he into the pits. So next up, we've got Hummer and Double on laps. Double, I think may have brought it in, but Hummer with a purple sector 1. So here we go. Needs to find 7/10 of a second for pole position, but he is more than capable. See, I think that was Ralph jumping out of the way there. Hummer perhaps got a little bit of a toe for rip, so he might benefit ever so slightly. Go as he throws it into turn 16 and 17 now. And flat out left-hander. How much do you cut? 28.7. So he's certainly made up excuse me, made up time there, but not enough to put him on the front row. Hammer's just nudging the wall there, but I think he got away with it. So Wazza just about to start his final lap. Where are we with everybody? Let's see who's going to be next across the line. Is it Johnny? Oh crap, what did I see there? That was Scully out. I think I just flipped past that, but unfortunately Scully is out of qualifying, and that is going to mess up a lot of people's laps, although he has now disappeared. But we'll have to see whether that affected anybody. So Hammers are bought in that, so Hammers will start no higher than 4th position, and then got Double crossing the line to come 9th. Then Hummer, as we say, has crossed the line. We've got a plethora of, we've got everybody coming across now, but what I'm going to do is jump on with, where's Brother Adam compared to Wazza? So Wazza's going to be the first to cross the line, 0.183 up on his time. Needs a bit more than that, although that would be enough to put him into second. Completely missed Pac-Man putting it in second position in the Ferrari there. A good lap by him, 28.5. Oh, and Wazza is invalidated. Right, Brother Adam, how are you doing? Can you snatch pole position from Connor? Nope. 28.399. So who is left out there? Rika is the only, well, Rika and Kavolis. And Kavolis isn't a slouch actually. He's had a couple of good races this year. So 4/10 up on his time, 29.4. I don't think he is going to be threatening the front row of the grid. And his teammate Rika will be the last to, I'd say set a time, but he's coming into the pits. So what I did miss in all that excitement in the end is Connor putting in a 27.882 to leapfrog straight up into pole position. That is an absolute immense lap. So I think he was in provisional pole anyway, but he has just strengthened that. That is a cracking lap. Only man into the 28s and half a second quicker than the Ferraris behind him. So Connor obviously will be looking for a good start. I say with his consistency, I think if he can keep the lead or sort of thereabouts and doesn't get involved in anything, he'll be a strong tip for the win. But as I say, you cannot count out Wazza, who is very, very strong around Singapore. It's just whether he is patient enough to make his way up from 4th position. So let's quickly run through the grid. We have Havoc Connor taking pole position by a mighty half a second from Brother Adam in the Ferrari. And we have the second Ferrari of Pac-Man and the Mercedes of Wazza on the second row of the grid. Then we have Hammers, Hummer, Bog, Ralph, Skipper and Cavolis running out the top 10. 11th Rika, 12th Double, 13th is Johnny, and I completely missed the rest because I ran out of time, but we'll go through it when we are back ready for the race.
Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. Things have changed slightly around the Marina Bay circuit with 4 corners removed between turns 16 and 19. It means the lap length is now just over 3 miles, and that might come as a welcome relief to the drivers, and more especially their brakes.
Welcome back, everybody. We are on the formation lap. Connor, as I say, taking pole position. So who was it we missed at the bottom? We had Johnny in 13th, Scully in 14th, and Composite in 15th. Unfortunately, neither of those finishing qualification due to retiring. But looking at the tyres, pretty much everybody going for medium other than Hummer in 6th. Johnny in 13th, and Scully looking to be as quick as he can on those softs and make up some ground early, perhaps trying to stretch it to a soft hard, but I think that might be a stretch. But don't know how many safety cars we're going to have and when they are going to crop up. Never seem to be at the perfect time. So Connor just leading the pack round. Who do we have at the back? Seems to be a little bit too far back actually, Composite. Does it close up a bit, and Scully as well? It's not too bad, but yeah, Composite I think just needs to pick up the pace a bit. Don't want to leave the front runners holding on for too long in their grid slot because their tyres will get cold. And the rules do state that you must keep a reasonable spacing to the car in front on the formation lap. I know something was mentioned recently in the rear left one where, well, I think it was the last race actually, where they kept them waiting a little bit on the grid, but shouldn't have an issue tonight. Right, okay. Enough waffling. Okay, so lining up on the grid, we will wait for composite to come round and take up his grid position just behind Scully and hope for a decent camera position. So Pac-Man disqualification, so it just means that he missed his grid slot ever so slightly, as did Scully there. So we're going to have to jump on board. Okay, lights out and away we go. So a good start by Connor. Got Brother Adam coming across to cut off his teammate, but up the inside, Wazza going for the move and splits the Ferraris, also allowing Hammers to make his way through. So no contact. We've a couple of positions made. Ralph Gabolis swapping positions. But so far so good. Everybody's still in the race. Right, let's jump back to the front. So Connor making a bit of a bolt for it. But Wazza not having any of that, sitting behind. So Wazza is very quick around here. Just needs to be a little bit patient. Hammers there. Looking to get or close up as quick as he can on Wazza and nearly making contact. Do not want to lose your front wing around here. Right, so what do we have going on a little bit further down? So Bog up into 6th position, Pac-Man dropping down into 5th off the start. So Hammer's making up a couple of places, Wazza making one as well. But we've got a bit of a gap starting to appear now. Not a huge one, but just between the top 7 and the rest of the field, got a 2.6 second gap. So they're certainly starting to break away. Connor, obviously fastest lap, 1:33.866, leading the way. And we'll just want to sit on the back of this group if you can, but what they don't want to do is let Connor get away too much, which they have. I don't. Oh, Brother Adam was within DRS range. I didn't think he was. But yep, so he has got the DRS. Bog obviously staying just behind Pac-Man as well, and Hummer on the coattails there. Scully making up a position past his teammate. Hoping that was a little bit easier and better than it was in qualifying for him. But I won't say it's jumped back to the front. Johnny's not having a good race so far. Sitting down in 14th. He hasn't got any damage, has he? Yeah, front left end plate missing. So Johnny having a incident early on. Not doing his championship chances much good. But meanwhile, his teammate is looking to control this race. 1.7 seconds clear of Brother Adam. I do think, as I say, if Wazza can get past, it looks like Wazza is now going for the move up the inside, which he has done, but he's broke late. Brother Adam coming around the outside, leaving a gap now for Hammers. This is going to I just couldn't get my words out then. It was nearly 3 wide, but Wazza and Hammers both overtaking the Ferrari. So up in 2 second and third. So we'll see if they can work together and reduce that 2.8, well, nearly 3 second gap to Connor. That's a second of the lap so far. Bog looking interested now behind the Ferraris. Bog looking to make a move up the inside. Pretty fair move there. So we now have Bog up into 5th place. So Pac-Man just dropping down a little bit. He's now going to come under pressure from Hummer unless he can make the position back up on Bog. We've got a very tight bunch here. 6 drivers, all within DRS of each other. Meanwhile, Connor's checked out. Okay, so back to the battle going on here. So it looks like these two have now dropped the Ferrari. So can they work together? The gap's extending at the front now, 3.6 seconds. So they really need to work together to try and reduce that gap down. The Ferrari just behind, Bogorowski looking to get past as quick as he can. But in fairness, I mean, he needs to keep an eye on Brother Adam because he's been doing well and closing up in the championship. But as long as he keeps him sort of within sight in the points, he doesn't need to push for the last 3 races. He'll just drive conservatively, pick up some good points, and the title will be his. I'll be honest, I will be very happy for Bog. I've known Bog a very long time. And I think the only title I think he managed to get in the past, not sure if it was a GT one or an F2, but yeah, consistent driver. So, but whoever wins, it's well deserved. Johnny, I think, did state that the second half of the season wasn't going to be to his liking, and I think that's probably proved to be right in a way. But as I say, still 2 races to go after this one, and still 27 laps to go here, so anything can happen. But the 2 in front are not making a dent on Connor. Connor 4.8 seconds clear now. He's putting out nearly a second a lap. That's awesome pace he's got. But the Ferrari taking a look up the inside of Bog there and deciding against it. It's good to see. And so Pac-Man, he's a great driver. He's got really good speed. We've had many conversations. It's just about timing that overtake rather than I've closed in on you, I've got to get past because I'm quicker. It's just making that right move. And if he can do that, he will score big points often. So don't show me up now, Pac-Man, and go for a dive. Okay, back at the front. And these 2 not making real inroads, and Brother Adam now back within the DRS zone, so we are concertinaing this group back up. Can't remember what tyres everybody's on, so let's have a quick look. Got a little poke up the backside there, or just a bit of understeer. It's a problem with this year's game is it can be quite unstable at the rear. So sometimes you're not sure whether you've actually lost it or whether someone's hit you. Well, perhaps that's just me. Oh, we have a yellow. Why do we have a yellow? We have composite, I think. Yeah, composite spinning down at turn 13. So perhaps probably just outbroke himself ever so slightly. So 7 cars all in the same screenshot there, which is good to see. Oh, Hammers looks like he might have just lost a bit of traction coming round into turn number 3, but manages to keep the position. He's now going to become a little bit susceptible though to Brother Adam behind. Brother Adam is now going to obviously have the DRS, which is going to neutralise what Bog has behind as well. But they haven't gone for the move. But this has given Wazza the chance to break that DRS. If he can now put his foot down and then find another second a lap, he has every chance of catching Connor, who is just another level tonight. So Hammers now has closed on the back of Wazza again. So Wazza seemed to be struggling a little bit in this early phase. I wonder if he might come to life a little bit more. Bogorowski looking for a move up the inside of Brother Adam. Brother Adam firmly closing the door there. Firmly but fairly. Bog taking or deciding not. Why have we got another yellow? Have we got yellow? That is Ralph. Who had that's the wrong way, Ralph. Oh, it looks like, yeah, Ralph has overshot going down into turn number 8, but is he going to get himself back in the race? Yeah, he is. Oh no, it wasn't turn number 8, it was 14, so very close together though, turns 8 and 14. Just in there. Anyway, so we've still got this close group of drivers here, but Connor, as I say, he's just different level, checked out, and 8.2 seconds clear after 7 laps, and looking very, very comfortable. He's on the same tyre, so it's not as if he's got the tyre advantage. Meanwhile, Scully dropping back a little bit down to 13th again. I think those softs are going to start screaming out soon. Bog just about to lose a position there to Pac-Man. So Bog down into 6th place, but as I say, I don't think he's going to be overly bothered by that at the moment. We have another yellow. Why do we have another yellow? Can't see, but it seems to be clear now. Last thing Connor wants at the moment is a safety car. After pulling out and getting the lead like this, the last thing he will want is a safety car. Although if I do think one came out now, pretty much everyone would be jumping onto the hard tyres. Obviously it would be bad for Hummer and Johnny down in 12th at the moment. As they will have to go to the mediums, and I don't think they would be able to take those to the end. Okay, so Bog in 6th. We've got Pac-Man in 5th, just losing touch with his teammate. Needs to close that in ever so slightly. Wazza, I didn't see Hammer get past Wazza, but not only has he got past, but he has broken 1.6 seconds clear now. So can Hammers close in on Connor? Hammers obviously defending champion from last year and part of the duo with this year's championship leader Bog at McLaren, leading the constructors there. Oh, Wazza is involved. Bogorovsky, not quite sure what happened there, but we have absolutely chaotic scenes, and we're going to have a lot of injured cars there. So we could have a pit car. We've got a safety car. The safety car has been called. This is back. Oh, Johnny. Oh no, looks like Johnny might have come around the corner, tried to avoid that carnage that was going on, and unfortunately has lost his front left wings, front left wheel. So Johnny out of the race. Scully did manage to pit, I think, yeah. So he'll be in. So Connor, he's staying out. Well, that's a bit of a gamble. He's praying for another safety car. But pretty much who else is? Everybody is pitting. Skipper coming into the pits. Waz has got to because he needs a new front wing. Oh no, he doesn't. How did he get no damage? Bog needs a new front right end plate. Lost that in the incident there. Then I think Cavolis, Eureka in the pits. Double coming into the pits. Composite. Bit of a late decision, but coming into the pits. Ralph coming into the pits. Scully has already pitted. So the front three now on mediums. Obviously Connor still has to make a pit stop. Everybody else has made their mandatory change of tyres. But Brother Adam and Hummer on fresh mediums. But we'll need to stretch those a long way if they're hoping to take it to the end. Obviously about 22, 23 laps. Not quite sure. So I've not been racing recently, so I'm not 100% sure of the degradation on the tyres. I would be surprised if you could take a set of mediums that far though, so I think there will certainly have to be another stop there, which puts Hammers in prime position. Obviously Pac-Man just behind him. Skipper up into 6th, so turning out well for him. Wazza down in 7th after a bit of a altercation. Not sure whether that well, I'm not quite sure what happened, to be honest. All I could see was that it was unfortunate that Wazza, Bogorovsky and another person were involved. Obviously got a bit locked together. I think Johnny then coming to try and avoid it, unfortunately went a bit wide and couldn't stop before the wall. So the only real loser out of all of that, I think, was a innocent bystander in Johnny. So talking to Johnny, actually, if you would like to show him some love and support, please go over to his Twitch TV channel and just give him a like, some thumbs up, and a subscription. It's J5_gaming_. So if you go to Twitch TV and type that in, then you can watch some of Johnny's live streams. So I'd like to drum up some support for him. So please, if you can, get over there. And so with this one as well, if you enjoy it, please give us a thumbs up. It's always nice to know whether people have enjoyed it. Hopefully there's not too many thumbs down. Right, so penalty-wise, who have we got? We've only got Scully, actually, who's got a penalty, so not too bad. 3 seconds for corner cutting, I would have thought. So everybody now stopped other than Connor. Just looking at the gainers as well. I mean, the biggest gainers, double has made up 4 places. So from 12th up to 8th. Hummer up 3, but as I say, we've got to see how this pans out, because with the different tyre strategies, it could make it interesting. So to do that, I think the hard tyres will reach the end of the race pretty much without a problem. It's just how and when these mediums drop off. Connor, as I say, obviously needs to make the extra pit stop. So I'm expecting the mediums to have the immediate advantage here and look to pull away as much as they can. When is Connor gonna go? He's gone. Oh, bit of a twitch there, but the Ferraris were not close enough. A little bit further back, just looking at Hummer. Oh, goodness me, what's going on here? Skipper looking for a move around the outside of Pac-Man. Didn't quite work out. In fact, if anything, he's now got a bit of oversteer. Looks like Wazza going for the move, but doesn't make it through. So we are pretty much as we were. No incidents and no damage, but Connor looking to pull away as quick as he can. Obviously wants to try and build up that 8.5 second lead again, if possible. I think it might be a bit hard with them on the mediums behind, but he will be obviously have quick and fresh tyres towards the end of the race. Brother Adam coming under a lot of pressure from Hummer with hammers behind him. But all of this is good for Connor, just giving him a chance just to eke out that lead a bit. If he could just get himself past that second. Obviously DRS not enabled until the end of the first lap, and will only come into play down the main straight. So race control, yep, DRS has been enabled. Connor doesn't look like he's managed to break it just yet. And looking a little bit racy now behind Hammers. So normally 2 laps to get the hards right up to a decent temperature where they could compete with the mediums. Mediums just get up so much quicker. Okay, so let's have a look at this trio in the lead. Connor, as I say, not managing to break that DRS on the first lap like he would have hoped to. Brother Adam just 0.6 behind, with Hummer 0.4 behind him. I say Hammers, Pac-Man and Skipper, their tyres will be coming up to temperature, so I think they will start closing in soon. Wazza in the background there, 7th position. Not sure if I don't think he got any damage from the restart. I think he just needs to just get his head together. Okay, so these trio 1.8 seconds clear of the hard runners now. Or 2 seconds clear now. We've got a few penalties now. Skipper and Waz are both picking up penalties. Hammer's going wide. I think they're Pac-Man looking to make or take advantage of it, but Hammers are firmly saying no thank you, that's my position. Skipper holding on well in 6th. See, that 3-second penalty would put him towards the back of the grid now if the race ended, but so still a long way to go. I think there'll be more penalties picked up by a lot of people. Oh, Brother Adam past Connor as well. Missed that whilst I was watching a bit further down. So Brother Adam up into the lead, and he's already broken that 1 second gap. I think Connor now going to start struggling on those medium tyres. I think he might regret staying out, and has in fact pitted now. So Connor, he'll definitely get them to the end now. And he'll be looking at 17 laps on these. Won't have a problem getting those to the end of the race. And obviously we'll have younger tyres, but everybody in front has the position around a street circuit. It is not always easy to overtake. So last the first challenge now for Connor. See if he can get himself back into the lead of this race. Certainly hasn't made it easy for himself. So these front two now. So Brother Adam did break the DRS zone, but I think Hummer was now using some of his ERS just to pull it back. Obviously needs that DRS to keep himself in contention without burning too much of his ERS. Thought Hummer was going to go for the move there, but these two holding each other up has meant that Hammers has now closed. Oh no, he hasn't. I thought he closed onto the back of him, but I was mistaken, so yes, completely wrong there. But 2.2 seconds behind. I think there was about 2.8, so he is closing in. Although it's taking a bit of time. What have we got going on back here? Wazza coming into the pits. Has he got more damage? Yep, another front wing. So that's 2 wings for Wazza. 2 wings, 3 penalty points. So Hummer there making the move on Brother Adam and taking the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix. Brother Adam looking to make a move up the inside, but thinking better of it. But these two fighting is music to the ears of Hammers and Pac-Man behind. 1.3 seconds now, so that's a second that they've closed in on 1 lap. I think this might be why Hummer decided that he needed to get past Brother Adam, to either drag him along or to disappear up the road if he can. Keeping an eye as well on Connor, currently in 11th position. Obviously Skipper, Wazza and Riker have pitted. They've come out on fresh mediums, which again should make them to the end of the race. Going to be a little bit worse for wear in the last few laps. But Connor 11.5 behind now. He is closing that gap significantly on composite. But then he has a hell of a lot of traffic to get through. So it looks like the race winner is going to come from one of these four, I would have thought, obviously unless we have another safety car. But then we're looking at a 7.8 second gap back to Double and Bogorovsky. Snap of oversteer there for Pac-Man. So we've got a close battle for first and second, and then for third and fourth. Then a bit of a gap, as I say, to Bog now has made his way past Double. So we'll see if Bog can start making any inroads. I'll be honest, if they manage to close this gap at the front and a bit of fighting between them, Bog can close that gap up. And obviously Pac-Man picking up a 3-second time penalty now means he is only 4 seconds behind in theory. So these are the two closest battles we have. Everybody else sort of strung out a little bit. I think we will close composite. Connor now closing that gap on composites down to 6, nearly 6.5 seconds. So he has pretty much halved that gap in the space of what, 2-3 laps? .158. I think that tells you everything you need to know about that. So Connor on a charge, wants to get back up to the front row here. Brother Adam past Hummer having a bit of a moment there, and it's just allowed Hammers and Pac-Man to close right up onto the back. So now a trio. Hammers will be happy because all of a sudden he now has DRS, whereas he was the lead car burning his ERS, so he can potentially just do a little bit of ERS saving here. Certainly help to make the overtake down the main straight on the next lap, but Pac-Man just showing his nose there, keeping it there. Good amount of space given by the pair of them there, so that's some good racing. Nice to see there. Pac-Man picking his moment. Oh, now losing a little bit of back end. Oh, no. Yes. Blimey, this is nice to see. Side-by-side racing. So Pac-Man looking at the cutback. I think he might have got a track extension there, but maybe 2. But no contact. This is really good to see. Some cracking racing between the two. But what it has done is it's opened that gap back up to 1.5 seconds. But Bogorovsky now only 5.6 seconds behind, was over 7 seconds. So that gap is tumbling with these guys in front having a bit of a fight. Connor as well now has the gap to composite down to 2.3 seconds. So it really, that's a huge amount of pace. So Brother Adam breaking that DRS zones now, managing to just pull away. Just over 2 seconds clear now. So Connor now is on the back of Composite. So just going to keep an eye, because I think Connor, let's say, he's been catching. But I say catching is one thing, getting past is something completely different. But I think with the pace advantage he's got, I don't think it'll be too long. At the very least, I think it will be down the main straight, heading up towards turn number 7. But is he going to wait that long? Nope, already passed. There we go. So Connor back up into 10th position. Right, what's going on at the front here? Hammers has caught up with Hummer. And Pac-Man dropped off ever so slightly. So I wonder if Pac-Man might have had a moment. I don't think there would have been any contact there, but who knows? So Hammers, as I say, probably in the better position here. Is he's got nearly a 2-second gap over Pac-Man, who is the second of the hard runners. Front two don't have to pit again, can take it to the end, but I do honestly think those tyres are going to be screaming towards the end of the race. And Hammers looking to make a move up the inside of Hummer, and Hammers does make the move. So Hammers up to second, Hummer down to third. So I think we might just be heading to the point now where those mediums are just starting to lose some of their best grip, and Hammers in a position where the hards are in their prime. So I think the gap here is going to grow, and the gap in front should shrink. Currently 3.7 seconds. So these two now have 2-second gap over Pac-Man. Bog 2.6 seconds behind, then quite a gap of 7 seconds to the Hash duo, doing well in 6th and 7th. So they can finish, well, 6th and 8th now. So Mr. Ralph making the overtake. Connor, I think, will be making a move on Cavolis very shortly. And then has a gaggle of cars in front of him. I want to look at clearing those again as quick as he can, and trying to make a dent into the well, I want to get himself up behind Bog if he can. Not too much in time, but a long way through the traffic. But we'll keep an eye on Connor just to see how this pans out for him. As I say, totally dominant over the first 8 or 9 laps, but safety car, I think, pretty much ruining it for him. But we will wait and see. Okay, so Hummer is hanging on to the coattails of, oh, yo, 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 yo. A little bit of an overtake perhaps gone wrong there. I think Scully giving the position back to Cavolis, which then allowed Connor to overtake the pair of them. So, good opportunity there for Connor. 2 pretty easy overtakes, and he is up into 8th position. 3 seconds now behind Ralph. Oh, Ralph, is he going to make a move? Oh, closing on the back of the Haas now. Will he look to make a move down here? He does, but doesn't quite have it. Going to the old Singapore sling. Into turn 13, so Ralph will probably have a little bit of a goosey gander going down here. But if he doesn't make it, would be wise to use the start-finish line, get as close as you can, and then look at making the move down the back straight. So Hammer's 4 seconds behind now. Hummer 1.7 seconds behind. Bog has dropped. Bog's through on Pac-Man. Again, missed the overtake. You can always guarantee I will miss the overtakes. So I hope you like the bits in between the overtakes. Rika and Scully. Oh, Scully's into the pits. That's why. I was about to say he was going to change positions, but I think Scully picking up damage, so coming in, putting in a new fresh set of mediums, taking him to the end of the race without a problem. Probably look at trying to hammer in the fastest lap if he can. But right, it's interesting at the front. These mediums don't seem to be dropping off as hugely as I thought was. Certainly not in Brother Adam's case. He is still 4 seconds clear of Hammers. Hummer seems to be struggling a little bit. It's down to gaps to about 3 seconds. Bog behind. There's a gap at 2 seconds. So keeping that pretty static. Pac-Man dropping 1.8 seconds back. Does he have damage again? I think he might be missing a front right end plate. He is missing a front right end plate, which would explain why he is dropping off. So is Bog missing anything? I was wondering if there was contact possibly between the two of them. But Bog on a bit of a charge now, 1.8 behind Hummer, so he's closed in 2-3 tenths on that lap. So we'll want that podium position if he can. I say round number 10 today, we've had 8 different race winners this year. Only one person has, or one driver has won 2 races, which is Bogorowski. But then we have had 7 different race winners apart from that. So it's been a really entertaining season so far. And I think it just proves that on their day, pretty much anyone from this division can win a race. So Hummer really is dropping off the pace, but Hammers is not closing in on Brother Adam. That gap remaining at 4 seconds. So Connor looking to make his way back up. A little bit of contact with Cavolis, but I don't think it was anything other than just a bit of a racing incident, both being on the same bit of tarmac at the same time. But Connor now makes the move on double. Hummer coming into the pit, so it just proves he could not take those mediums to the end. So his brother Adam got a pit as well. This could put Hammers and Bog in a 1-2 position. Ooh, yes, I forgot about the fact they might not be able to get them to the end. This has made it a little bit more interesting. Wazza in 9th position. He's kind of dropped off for him today. So Connor back up into 6th position. Was he got 5 seconds to make up on Ralph, and then 10 seconds to make up on Pac-Man. So, I mean, still 20 seconds, 20 odd seconds to get to the podium. Then that might be a far stretch for him, but I think if he get himself up into 4th, or well, maybe 5th. We'll see. So gap at the front is 3.8 seconds. It's less than that now because Hammers is taking the lead, because Brother Adam is coming into the pits. We'll put on a fresh set of softs. Where is he going to come out in the race? We'll be looking at doing 7 laps on those softs. So he's going to be uber quick for the next sort of 2, 3, 4 laps, but then they are still going to die off. Brother Adam comes out in, is he out in 5th? He He is, and he's got Connor just behind him. So Connor obviously on the hards and brother Adam on the soft, so complete opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to tyre compounds. But if Connor can keep hold of the coattails of brother Adam, he could drag him towards Ralph very, very quickly. But at the front, McLaren 1, McLaren 2, and then a 4-second gap to Hackman. And the Ferrari Ralph keep up his consistent runs. I say the last sort of 3-4 Grand Prix he's been putting in some really good performances, which has sort of moved him up the championship standings quite a lot. So yeah, currently in 4th position, but they've got brother Adam 2.2 seconds behind and closing very, very quickly. Soft tyres giving superior traction. He will pretty much be up to racing temperature now, so brother Adam, I would expect to see a fastest lap pop up, but then we've got the same with Hummer a bit further back. Closing in on Wazza 1.8 seconds behind there, but right, okay, what do we have? We have too many close battles other than back here with Wazza closing on Kavolis and Rika, so we'll just keep with these for the moment and see if something else opens up. If it does, we'll shoot straight to it. As a closing on the back of Kavolis, but struggling to make his way. He's lost front right end plate, that's why. Not your night tonight, Wazza. So I have seen him in races here at Singapore where he just disappeared. I think there was one race in Division 1 he won by about 40 odd seconds. Was so superior to everybody else. But yeah, not his night tonight. And now coming under pressure from Hummer. Looking for the inside. Wazza giving a little bit of a jink for defence. I'm sure we'll look for the overtake down the main straight, but I think brother Adam will be doing the same, getting up as close as he can behind Ralph, looking to deploy that DRS, which he has, and he's closing. He's pumping some ERS out there as well just to make the overtake, which he does, and Ralph conceding because he knows when he is beaten there. Right, okay, bit further back, Wazza. Hummer not able to make his way past Kavolis and Wazza there. I thought he would pretty much be able to get better traction out that last corner and would be past one if not two of them. But he does have better traction there, but still can't make the move. Oh! Wazza just losing a bit of traction there around to the right, so there's DRS is open, but obviously Wazza having DRS in front as well. Something I am keeping an eye on is the fact that Pac-Man has got that gap to bog down to 1.6 seconds. Does still have a 3-second time penalty. Oh, Connor picking up a penalty there. That will be it's not going to be great coming to the end of the race. I think, you know, if he'd have kept it clean, he could still be on for a really good position. Still going to be good, especially where he was after the safety car. It's just such a shame because I do think that Connor was probably the quickest driver out there in race trim and qualifying trim. But the safety car didn't fall kindly for him. and I think perhaps a better strategy choice would have still given him the win. But hindsight's a wonderful thing. So Pac-Man 1.2 seconds behind Bog now, so just closing in ever so slightly. Bog will obviously want to try and keep him out of DRS zone if he can, but as I say, he is but yeah, he does have that 3-second penalty, so Bog, I think, you know, Bog's not going to mind if he gets overtaken as long as he can then keep himself within that 3-second window. Can look at picking himself up that second place. But Hammers has gone 11 nearly 12 seconds clear. So it's always one of the worst things when you're on comms. You've got a race leader like, you know, literally like Connor was earlier, 8 seconds clear, and they just don't get any TV time. It's pretty much the same as Hammers now, you know, 12 seconds clear of Bog, but not picking up any time. Right, okay, so I'm not sure if Hummer has given up or whether those tyres are already going off, but he is dropping away from the back. Right, okay, Pac-Man now closing in onto the back of Bog. So both on the hard tyres. So neither party with the advantage at the moment. I would say those hard tyres probably going to be heading towards 30% used, so still not going to be in a bad condition. But I tell you what these two don't want to do is fight too much and allow Brother Adam to catch up, because Brother Adam doesn't have any penalties, and if he does get past Bogarowski, it will be for position, and that gap is now down to 1.5 seconds. Pac-Man looking to make the move. Brother Adam's there. So we now have a 3-way battle for second place. That has closed up pretty damn quick. And also just behind, I'm noticing Connor is hot on the tails of Ralph, but again does have that 3-second time penalty. So we'll need to get past and then breach 3 seconds to keep 5th position. But his tyres are an awful lot younger than everybody in front of him. Is Pac-Man going to go for a move here? Don't think he got good enough drive coming out of that corner. No, he didn't. Bog's managing to pull away. As he's not using too much of his ERS, then I'm sure he can probably keep these two at bay. We've still got the tight battle for 7th going on between Kavolis, Wazza and Hummer. I really don't want to move away because this could change any minute now. And Brother Adam making the move on Pac-Man. Brother Adam up into 3rd position. I think the best he could hope for is 2nd today. He's on those softs, isn't he? Are they going to last? 6.5 old softs? Yeah, it should do. There we go, going for a bit of a forceful move there, Pac-Man. Pac-Man has a lot more speed there. Got a bit pinched. I think that was just unfortunately down to track characteristics. I don't think anybody closed the door or you know, there was a gap there. So, right, sorry, jump to the front because Hammers is going to come across. Moved house, new baby, dodgy internet, and still brings it home to win the Singapore Grand Prix. Congratulations to Hammers. A well-deserved win there. Managed to canter away in the end, 15 seconds clear. And then I just want to keep an eye. Looks like so Brother Adam is going to come home in second. Boggy's going to keep hold of third on track. Pac-Man taking fourth. Good race from Pac-Man there. Ralph bringing it home in fifth. Connor is going to cross the line in sixth. Is he going to keep it? I think he is, because Gavolis is going to come through. So Hummer ended up seventh. Waz at eighth. Gavolis dropping to ninth because of penalties. Double crossing the line in 10th. Will he finish there? He will not. He drops down to 11th. Composite jumps up into 10th. Rika, the next two cross the line with a 10-second penalty. So I think Scully pipped him on the line there. But yes, many congratulations to Hammers. Great drive today. Seized the opportunity. Obviously, good strategy to go on to the hard tyres under the safety car, take him to the end. Pulled out a 15-second gap. Brother Adam, good recovery there. Took a bit of a gamble going on to the softs, but managed to get him to last. Certainly long enough to get himself back up into second and past Bogorovsky. I think getting back up to the lead was a long shot, especially with sort of 7 laps to go when he made his second pit stop. So the one-stop strategy prevailed today. Two-stop was very close. So let's have a look at the official results. So Hammers bringing it home for McLaren. So from fifth on the grid, picking up 25 points. We've got Brother Adam in second and Bogorovsky rounding out the top three. So that's the podium sorted. Then we have Pac-Man in fourth. Good race from him today. Ralph was in fifth. Again, solid. Connor recovering to sixth. Hummer in seventh. Eighth. Wazza ninth. Cavolis 10th. Composite 11th. Double 12th. Scully 13th. Rika. 14th is Skipper. And then just the one DNF, unfortunately, today from Johnny, or J5 Gaming. Hopefully he will have a bit more luck next week. But that brings to an end round number 10. So 2 rounds to go. We're back next week at Qatar, where it is a sprint race format. So we'll have a short quali sprint race, another short quali, and a 50% race. And we'll obviously, at the end of that, we'll see what position we are in going into the final race of the season. Bog could potentially have it all sewn up by then. But we'll have to wait and see. Thank you all for listening. I hope you have enjoyed it. So please give a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. And don't forget to drop onto Johnny's Twitch. So J5 underscore gaming underscore. Pop in and give him your support and love. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great weekend. We'll be back next week, Wednesday, with Division 1, and I'll be back with Division 2.